Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Yesterday I published a video on this channel. I'd actually shot it about a week previous. Today's video, this one you see right now, is shot in real time, and we have indeed caught up. I have had a few videos that I've uploaded to the channel, but I haven't published because they don't really tell the story in the way that I want it to be told. The story is still developing, you know what I mean? And so to put out videos talking about certain things, certain changes in my life, when those changes haven't been solidified yet, puts me in an awkward position, and it puts me in a vulnerable position, and those videos will never see the light of day. But today is Sunday, the 17th of November 2024. It's 9 in the morning, and I thought it was about time I address you guys, about time I made another video. And this video is going to be around the topic of triggers and navigating your way through triggers and temptations when it comes to quitting alcohol. So everything was laid out in the line in the last couple of videos that have been published around my secret weapon when it comes to quitting alcohol, which is and always has been marijuana. That may be controversial to some people, but when you talk about the lesser of the two evils, well, it goes without saying. That's all I'm going to make mention to as far as weed. I haven't taken it out completely yet because of certain reasons, and one of those I'm going to touch on right now. So, making your way through triggers and temptations when it comes to alcohol. Well, I'm going to talk about my last week, my last 7 days, and 3 separate times that I've had to navigate my way through temptations. Not so much triggers, but certainly temptations, because as I made mention to previously, and I wasn't completely sure whether this was the case, but it turns out it seems to have been, triggers are things that you can't really control, environmental factors, lifestyle factors that will hit you and trigger you to drink, or at least to want to drink, or at least actually not to want to drink, but to feel like you have to drink to get through this certain situation. Well, now that I've reduced my workload from 80 hours a week down to 40, that trigger of just completely overworking myself and thinking about it and getting so depressed and so wound up about it that the only way, it was a massive trigger. It was a trigger for me to drink, was because I knew I had to get through this next 80-hour work week, and I had to find a way. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to quit, but I had to find a way. And the way that I found for many months on end was to drink. Now that I've removed that and I've gone back to just a normal 40-hour week, that trigger, which I knew it was, and I'd singled it out. I'd singled out that trigger, especially on a Wednesday afternoon. Gotten through a 16-hour day previous, knew I had 2 more in front of me, knew that the bottle shop was open. The only way I was going to get through that was to drink. So, remove that. Now what I would call them would be temptations. And I've had 3 temptations this week, just this last week. The first was on Monday. And I made a previous video talking about how I was going to quit weed, talking about how I was almost at the end of a bag. Jesus. My shoulders aren't this pointy, by the way. But Captain Planet's were. Okay, so first temptation, Monday afternoon. I'd made a video on Sunday talking about how I was going to quit weed. I'd actually thrown out the last of my weed. I threw out my final nug, which I woke up Monday morning actually feeling proud about. I felt content. I felt like, right, this is it. I know I don't have that trigger of working 80 hours a week, but we'll just see how we go. We'll see how we go. Got through Monday towards the end of my work day. So it was about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I had been in such a positive, rewarding routine of finishing work at 4, going to the gym 4:15, finishing at the gym 6, 6:15, coming home, eating dinner, chilling out, getting to bed at a reasonable time, and waking up the next morning and doing it all again. And I was happy with that. And that wasn't really giving me an opportunity to even dwell on alcohol or even think about it, because I was, going from work to the gym, home, cook, shower, YouTube, bed. You know what I mean? It's a positive lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle that I didn't mind. But I thought, okay, there's one thing missing. Removing marijuana, because I was using marijuana twice during each day, prior to the gym and prior to eating dinner. And I'd convinced myself that I wanted to be completely 100% clean and sober from all drugs and alcohol. Well, Monday afternoon came around and I realized that I wasn't ready to remove marijuana, because what happened was this Monday afternoon was exactly the same as the previous. I'd taken my gym gear to work, but I just had just a little bit too much time to dwell on life between finishing work and getting to the gym, that the thought of drinking entered my brain for the first time on a Monday afternoon since quitting. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. Now what's missing? The thing that's missing is an essential, I didn't realize at the time, but it is an essential part of my routine at the moment to stay sober from alcohol, which is my main concern. And the part of the routine that was missing was the smoking of the weed. And I don't know whether it's actually the mood that it gets me in or whether it's just part of my routine, but what I do know is that the way that I've always used it, and the way that I used it on that Monday, was to zone me in to whatever task I have next in front of me. And it gets me zoned in. I get into that task, and in this case it was going to the gym, get into that task, an hour goes by, I'm in a great mood. The first smoke of any day is always the best. So I get an hour into that task, another hour goes by, I'm still feeling, pretty happy, under the influence, somewhat. And then we move on. So sadly, interestingly, what I had to do is I actually went out and bought some more. So I bought some more as of Monday afternoon, and that has seen me through the entire week. And I'm not mad about it, and I'm certainly not beating myself up about it, because the alternative was on that Monday to come back here to my apartment, white knuckle it through both alcohol and marijuana, white knuckle it, which is something that I haven't had to do. I haven't had to white knuckle it this entire time, because I've always had, a little bit of weed to smoke just to take the edge off and to get me motivated to do certain things. So basically, fundamentally, I got hit with the reality that I wasn't ready to let weed go. And I also got hit with the reality that if I was to push through and quit, even though I'm not ready to, the alternative, which has happened before, and I could see it happening again, was number one, not going to the gym every day, and number two, bringing alcohol back in, or looking for an alternative to that change of mindset that weed gives me at the moment. So my first navigation through a little bit of a dicey time, Monday afternoon, feeling all of these things, knowing I didn't want to drink, but I also didn't have any weed, and I also wanted to go to the gym, but I didn't have any weed. Call me a weed addict, call me what you will. I mean, I've been addicted to weed. I've been smoking a hell of a lot more in the past than I am now, which is a positive. But the number one thing is that on that Monday, I got to the gym, I did my thing, and I didn't drink alcohol. Second trigger. All right, so at work, I organised the accommodation for students that come to town to do their placements, their third year nursing degree placements at the hospital. I'm a student support officer, front of service to them when they come into the campus. I help them with anything they need, but I also organise the accommodation, and I'm basically like a property manager as of sorts. And this week we actually took ownership, settlement of a new property that we're adding to our books to get up and running for next year, so we can have three extra students come in throughout the year. So what comes with settlement of a property? Well, a little gift bag, or in this case, a gift box. So this was Tuesday. Monday, I've gotten through all of that. Tuesday, I go and take settlement of this property, well and good. All right, open up the little gift box. My boss is in Darwin. He doesn't want it. I can have it. That's what I've been told. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so we're looking through. All right, so it's not food related. It's more so, chopping boards and cheese knives and tea towels and candles. In fact, I've got a candle back there from that exact box. But what lay underneath all of this was a bottle of wine. A bottle of red wine. And what do? Well, I have a look. I don't look at the name of it. And I certainly don't look at the type of wine. I go straight to the back and look at the numbers. How many standard drinks in that bottle? And if it's over 8, well, that's a really strong wine. If it's less than 7, well, I wouldn't even think twice about buying that because it's not worth it. Not enough standard drinks. This one, a bottle of red wine, had 8.7 standard drinks in it. And I looked at it and I thought, okay. It's funny, isn't it? Your brain just does certain things. It's wired to look at certain things and judge a bottle of liquid by the amount of standard drinks you get out of it, or at least that's the way that my brain is wired, especially with bottles of wine, because there's so many of them. How are you going to choose? How are you going to choose? Well, the only way I chose was to get the one with the most alcohol in it. Either way, bottle of wine. I saw it. I knew I was going to the gym after work. I packed it away. I packed the box away, and I put it in the cupboard. Did my thing, smoked a little bit of weed after work, went to the gym, came home, had a decent night's sleep, woke up the next morning, went into work. The box is still there. All right, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to drink this? Am I going to take it home? Save it for a rainy day? It's probably not a good idea. So I called my workmate in. He's a drinker. He enjoys red wine. Match made in heaven. He came down. I said, look, I'm going to take the candle, but the rest is yours. And he was absolutely wrapped. So he took the bottle of wine, got it away from me, thank fuck, and the rest is history. I don't know where it is. It was probably consumed that night, and I hope it was. You know what I mean? It was a gift to me, and then passed on from me to him. So that was trigger. Not going to say trigger, but temptation number 2. Number 3. Temptation number 3 for the week was actually yesterday. I got invited to I got invited to dinner at someone's house. I got invited to dinner, and I was meant to be bringing the food, or at least something to eat, and they would provide the booze. And I was asked, what is your drop? What is your what's your favorite type of drink? What do you want? What do you want to drink? What do you want me to buy? And in times previous, I probably would have said, well, I'm a whiskey drinker. Go and buy whatever whiskey you want. I'll bring the Coke. Make sure you've got some ice, and don't worry about the food because I'm not going to eat that anyway. Let's just drink. Well, in this case, I had to think about it. I agreed initially. I agreed. And then I went radio silent. And they said, right, what's happening? I said, well, look, at the end of the day, I've got to be honest. I'm trying to stay sober from alcohol at the moment. And that went down okay. Although what I got back was actually an explanation of their drinking habits, saying, well done on going sober. That is something to be proud of. I personally drink I go sober personally from Sunday through to Thursday. I drink Fridays and Saturdays. Today being Saturday, I'm looking forward to my drinks. That's the way I do it. It doesn't cause me any issues, but respect to you for trying to stay sober. That's what I got back, and that's where the conversation ended. Because I'm not willing to I'm not even willing to put myself into that type of situation at the moment. I'm not ready. I'm clearly not ready, because I could see it going the way of temptation. And the temptation, having alcohol sitting right in front of me, open, I believe would have been too much. I could see myself drinking. And I was trying to rationalize in my brain one drink. And then I was thinking, all right, how am I going to feel after one drink? And then I was thinking, all right, so I'll make sure that I don't eat throughout the day, so that one drink that I'm going to have is going to hit me as hard as possible. And it's just those, you know what I'm talking about? It's those thoughts, those thought patterns that I don't want and I don't have at the moment. So I wasn't about to put myself into that situation. And so I had to say no. I had to say, well, basically, it just went radio silent. I was hoping that I wouldn't get a reply back, and it just fizzled out. So there you go. No skin off my back. It is what it is. I couldn't give two shits, to be honest. I'm happy. I'm proud that I woke up this morning on Sunday morning. It's 9 in the morning. Well, it's about 9:30 now. And I'm going to go to the gym. And nothing's holding me back. Because even if I had had that one drink last night, that'd be in the back of my mind. Not only would it affect me physically, but more importantly, and more destructively, it would have affected me mentally. And I'd be sitting here kicking myself. You know what I'm saying? So today is day 28. I wanted to discuss my previous week. I wanted to discuss those 3 trials, tribulations, temptations, and triggers. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. And I will see you when we reach officially 30 days sober from alcohol. Cheers.